Alright, we are skipping chapter 15 on creating an advanced workbook. You are more than welcome to go through this chapter if you would like. I will post in the notes and PowerPoint section, I will post the files for this chapter so that if you guys want to work through that on your own, you can. We are going to continue with chapter 16. Charts provide a way to illustrate numbers. Because many people are overwhelmed by tables of numbers, you can use charts to show trends or relationships in data that are easier to see than by looking at the actual numbers on the spreadsheet. So a chart or graph is a visual representation of a set of data values. Charts show trends or relationships that may not be readily apparent from numbers alone. For example, it may be difficult to identify in which range of months a mutual fund performed exceptionally well simply looking at numbers, whereas a chart can make that relationship easy to see. Alright, so we are going to open up an existing workbook. We're going to go out to the desktop where I've saved my files. These files will be loaded with the assignment, just like always. And we need to open up the Minneapolis worksheet. Alright, we're going to do File Save As. We're going to go back into our current folder. We're going to save it as Minneapolis Real Estate. Okay. In the documentation worksheet, where it says author, you will enter your name, and the date, you will put today's date left aligned. Alright. Save it. Summary report worksheet will summarize the data and facts about Minneapolis real estate. The historical prices worksheet lists real estate prices from 2012 through 2016. And the Metro Population Worksheet lists the populations of Minnesota cities. Okay. Each chart that you will create will have a data source, which is the range that contains the data to display in the chart. A data source includes one or more data series, which is the set of values represented in a chart. The data series include one or more categories, which are the sets of values that represent the data for the same item. The category values provide descriptive labels for each data series, and the data series values contain the actual numbers plotted on the chart. Category values are usually located in the first column or first row of the data source. The data series values are usually placed in subsequent columns or rows. However, you can select category and data series values from anywhere within the workbook. Alright, so we're going to select the data source for a chart. We're going to make the Metropolitan Population Worksheet our active sheet, which it already is for me. We're going to select the range A3 through B8. Okay. The data source in this range has one data series named population that includes one category named city. The category values in the range A4 through A8 list the different cities. The data series values in ranges B4 through B8 contain the population numbers to be charted. Alright, we're going to select a chart type. There's lots of different chart types. It shows you there in Exhibit 16-2 on 522 you have your column. You have your line charts, pie charts, bar charts, area charts, XY scatter, your stock, your surface, your radar, your combo. So you have a lot of different options. You should always select the type of chart that makes the data easiest to interpret. For example, a pie chart provides the best way to provide a breakout of population data. And a pie chart is a chart that is shaped in a circle and divided into slices like a pie. Alright, so we're going to do a pie chart, but you should always think about what type of data you have and what type of chart will best represent your data. Alright, we're going to go to Insert. In the Charts group, we're going to click Insert Pie or Donut Chart button. The Charts group. In the Charts group, I don't see the pie chart. There it is right there. Okay. The pie chart gallery will open. Point to the different pie chart subtypes. Okay, you get a preview of what they look like. In the 2D section, click Pie. The pie chart is inserted in the Metro Population worksheet. 3 buttons appear next to the chart, and 2 chart tool tabs appear on the ribbon. So chart elements are individual parts of a chart, such as the chart area, the chart title, the plot area, data markers, and a legend. The chart area contains the chart and all of the other chart elements. The chart title is a descriptive label or name for the chart. The plot area is the part of the chart that contains the graphical representation of the data series. Each value in a data series is represented by a data marker such as a pie slice. A legend is a rectangular area that indicates the data markers associated with the data series. You can choose which of these elements to include in the chart, as well as where each element is placed and how each element looks. Okay. So point to an empty area of the selected chart. The pointer will change to a 4-sided arrow, and the screen tip chart area appears, indicating the pointer is over the chart area. In the chart area above the pie chart, point to population. Screen tip appears that says chart title, indicating the pointer is on the chart title. Click population. A selection box appears around the chart title, indicating that it is selected. On the ribbon, click the Chart Tools Format tab. In the current selection group, notice the chart title appears in the current selection box. Click the current selection box arrow to display a list of elements in the current chart. In the current selection list, click plot area. The selection box surrounds the pie chart. Select the chart area. Alright. Each chart you create is inserted as an embedded chart in the worksheet that contains its data source. An embedded chart is an object in a worksheet. For example, the pie chart is embedded in the Metro Population worksheet. The advantage of an embedded chart is that you can display the chart alongside its data source or any text or graphics that can explain the chart's meaning and purpose. Alright. You can move an embedded chart to a different worksheet in the workbook, or you can move it to a chart sheet. Which is a sheet that contains only the chart and no worksheet cells. Likewise, you can move a chart from a chart sheet and embed it in any worksheet you select. On the ribbon, click the Chart Tools Design tab. In the location, click Move Chart button. Alright, the dialog box will open. Click the Object in Box arrow to display a list of worksheets in the active workbook, and then click Summary Report. Click OK. The embedded chart moves from the Metro Population Worksheet to the Summary Report Worksheet and remains selected. So we're going to reposition it in this sheet, point to an empty part of the chart until the screen tips the four-sided arrow. Click the chart area and drag to the left until the chart's upper left corner is in cell A3. Alright. Point to the sizing handle in the lower left corner of the chart until your pointer changes to a double-sided white arrow, and drag the sizing handle up to cell F12. Okay, save your changes. After you create a chart, you can change its style and layout. You can also choose which chart elements to include with the chart and change how each element is formatted. This flexibility enables you to create a chart that best conveys its data. It also lets you create a chart with a look and feel that suits your intended readers. When you create a chart, the chart is formatted with the default chart style for that chart type. For example, the default pie chart style applies a solid color to each slice. You can modify the appearance of a chart by applying a different chart style to the chart. So make sure the pie chart is selected. On the Chart Tools Design tab, in the Chart Style group, click the More button, and the gallery will open. Point to different styles in the gallery to get a live preview. Alright, and then we want to click Style 12. Each pie slice is now connected to the next slice without a white border between them. Alright, chart layouts provide different options for displaying and arranging chart elements. These layouts specify which chart elements are displayed and how they are formatted. So on the Chart Tools Design tab in the Chart Layouts group, click the Quick Layout button. In the first row, point to Layout 3. Live preview shows the impact of the layout on the pie chart's appearance. Is that Layout 3? Chart title is removed from the chart and the pie chart resizes to fill the space. Click Layout 3 to change to Layout 3. Alright. Positioning and formatting a chart title. Alright. The chart title provides a description of a chart or an overview of its purpose. It's one of the chart elements that can be included in a pie chart. You can add or remove the chart title by clicking the Chart Elements button next to the selected chart and then clicking the chart title checkbox. So if we go here, we can put the chart title back. And then we're going to change our title. So we're going to click here and we're going to add of Metro Cities. So that's how you can alter a chart title. Click the border of the chart title selection box. And we can format that text. Go to the Home tab, and we're going to change that text to 12-point font. The chart title reduces in size, and the pie chart will increase in size to fill the extra space. Okay, save at this point. The chart legend identifies each of the data series in the chart. With a pie chart, the legend shows the color used for each slice and its corresponding category value. So, next to the selected chart, click the Chart Elements button. Point to the legend to display the right arrow next to the legend option. And then you can change its positioning, and we're going to change it to the left. If necessary, click the Chart Elements button next to the selected chart. Choose Legend again, expand them options, and choose Right. The formatted legend will now appear on the right side. In the formatted legend pane, click the Fill in Line button. Hang on. Okay, we're here. Go to More Options. So there we have that. Going to go here to our Fill in Line button. We're going to click Border. We're going to click the Solid Line option button. We're going to click the Color button, and we're going to choose Orange Accent 6 Theme Color. The legend now has a dark orange border around it. Click the chart area to deselect the legend. And you see your border. Okay. Alright, a data label is text for an individual data marker, such as a pie slice. A data label can show a value or other descriptive text. Alright, we're going to click our Chart Elements button. Alright, let's close this. We're going to click our Chart Element button. We're going to choose Data Labels. The data labels are added to each pie slice. Point to the Data Labels arrow there at the right to expand that. And then click Outside End. This option says the data labels outside the pie chart. Go back to Data Labels and go to More Options. Click the Label Options tab. Okay, so we're in Label Options. Click this button here. Let's see, in the Label Contains section, the Value and Show Leader Lines checkboxes are already checked because these are the default data label options. These options set the data labels to display as the values in the data source and use leader lines when needed to connect the labels with their corresponding pie slices. In the Label Contains section, click the Value checkbox to deselect it. The value data labels are removed from the chart. Click the percentage checkbox. Okay. Alright, how did we get thrown out of that? Alright, go back here. Data labels. Outside end. And not sure how we got thrown out of that. Outside. And we need to go to More. We want to go here. Label Options, Percentage, and Take Away Value. Okay. Not sure how mine got thrown out. I bumped something that I shouldn't have on my computer. Alright, so take the value away, give it percentage. The data values are displayed as percentages of the whole. Even though the Show Leader Line checkbox is selected, the lines don't appear on the chart because the chart area has enough space to place the labels close to their slices. In the Format Data Labels pane, click Label Options. To collapse that section. Then click Number. Click the Category box and click Percentage. The data labels appear as percentages on the outer edges of the slices. Save your changes. Changing the color of a data series. The data series is the range of values plotted on the chart. The values in each data series are plotted as a single unit on a chart. Usually you can use one color for an entire data series. However, in a pie chart you want each slice to have a different color or a distinct shade of the same color so the slices are easy to distinguish. Okay. So we can close this out and click somewhere to deactivate everything. Alright, next to the selected chart, click the Chart Styles button and then click Color. At the top of the menu, the available color schemes appear in the gallery. Point to the different colors to see a live preview. And then we are going to click Color 3. So color 1. Oh, that's color. Hang on. Color 1, color 1, color 3. Okay. So color 3 is selected. The slices in the legend colors change color to reflect the selected color scheme. Alright, we're going to click the pie chart to select the entire data series. Alright. Click the dark purple Brooklyn Park slice. Dark color Brooklyn Park slice, which represents 8.07 right here. Only that value of slice is selected. The pane to the right of the worksheet window changes to the Format Data Point pane. Click the Fill in Line button to display the fill and border color. Hang on, this did not change. Alright, so I chose the color scheme. Okay, we want to go to format the data. Alright, we want to go here. And we want to go to our fill in line to display the colors. Fill, span fill. Click the solid fill option. Okay, I don't think this is right. Hang on. Alright, we're wanting to do this slice of the pie right here, right? Alright, and then we want the solid fill option. And then click the color button to display the color palette and choose olive green accent 3. The Brooklyn Park slice and legend marker will change to olive green. In the Format Data Point pane, close the button. Alright, save your changes. I know that was a little bit confusing, but if you read through the steps, you should be able to follow them. It was confusing because it had two different things opened up, and it switched back to your other pane without having you reopen it. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing there. Okay. So, pie slices do not need to be fixed within the pie. An exploded pie chart moves one slice away from the others as if someone were taking the piece away from the pie. Exploded pie charts are useful for emphasizing one category above all others. Alright, so we're going to click on our pie chart. The entire data series is selected as indicated by the sizing handles on each pie slice. We're going to click the light red Minneapolis slice to select it. We're going to drag the Minneapolis selected slice to the right approximately 1/2 inch. The slice is separated from the rest of the pie. Alright, save your changes. Alright, and it should look like this now. Alright, now we're going to talk about creating column or bar charts. A column chart displays values in different categories as columns. The height of each column is based on its value. A bar chart is a column chart turned on its side so that the length of each bar is based on its value. Each data series has columns or bars of the same color. Alright, so we're going to make the structures types worksheet. Alright, our active sheet. We're going to select range A3 through C12. Okay. We're going to go to our Insert tab. We are going to click the Charts group. We're going to go to Insert Column Chart. And then the gallery opens. We're going to, in the 2D column section, we're going to click the Clustered Column Chart. Okay. Column charts inserted in the active worksheet, and Chart Tools Design tab is selected on the ribbon. On the Chart Tools Design tab, click the Move Chart button. Click the Object Inbox area and click Summary Report. And then click OK. In the summary report, we're going to drag it to cell to the upper left corners in cell A14. Okay, and drag the lower right sizing handle until the chart covers the range A14 through F27. And then save your changes. Alright, when we format a column chart, the process for formatting a chart is the same for each type of chart, although specific formats and options are available to reflect the chart type. Alright, so we're going to click the chart title to select it and change the font size to 12. We're going to enter structure types as the new chart title. In the column chart, double click any column. All of the columns for the data series in the chart are selected and the Format Data Series pane opens. Click the Series Option button. Here, we've got Series Options open, if it's not already displayed, and drag the gap width slider to the left until the value in the gap width box is 50%. Okay. The gap between adjacent columns is reduced and the columns become wider to fill the space. In the Format Data Series pane, click the Fill in Line button. And then click Fill to expand that option. Click the Gradient Fill option button. The columns with a gradually changing mix of colors. Click the Direction button to display a gallery of gradient directions. click linear up. Linear up. Okay. The columns are filled with a gradient that blends to the top. Save your changes. Changing the axis scale. Chart data is plotted along the axis. The vertical axis shows the range of values from all the data series plotted on the chart. The horizontal axis shows the category values for each data series. The range of values or scale of an axis is based on the values in the data source. The scale usually ranges from 0 through the maximum value. Okay. In the column chart, click any value on the vertical axis, the list of percentages. The Format Data Series pane changes to the Format Axis pane. If they are not already selected, click the Axis Option tab. And then the Axis Options button. In the Axis Options section is not expanded, click to expand it. Note that the bound section, the minimum value of the axis is set to 0 and the max is set to 0.5 or 50%. This matches the values listed on the vertical axis. In the unit section, 0.05 appears in the major box, indicating that the values on the vertical axis will appear every 5 percentage points. In the unit section, select the current value in the major box and put in 0.10 and then click enter. The values on the vertical axis change from showing 5% intervals to 10% intervals. Okay. In the Format Axis pane, click Axis Options to collapse that section and then click Number to expand the number section. In the category box, percentage is selected. In the decimal places box, change that to a 0. The percentages now show only integers. The percentages on the vertical axis range from 0 to 50 in intervals of 10. On the ribbon, click the Home tab and then change the font size to 8. The values displayed in the vertical axis are smaller, leaving more room for data. On the horizontal axis, click any of the labels so that they're selected. Again, change your font size to 8. And then save everything and close your Format Axis pane. You should have that chart set up to look like this. Alright, now we're going to create a line chart. A line chart displays data values using a connected line rather than columns or bars. Line charts are typically used when the data consists of values drawn from categories that follow a sequential order at evenly spaced intervals, as with historical data, in which the data values are recorded periodically, such as monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Make the historical prices worksheet your active sheet. Select the range A3 through D56. We're going to go to Insert, Insert Line Chart. In the 2D section, click the Line Chart. Alright. Move the line chart to the Summary Report. Okay, where did it place it? I don't see it. There it is. Okay. Reposition the chart over the range H3 through M13. Alright, H3. Is that right? H3 through M13. Alright. Alright. So right about there. In the line chart, replace the chart title with price history. Change the size to 12 of your title. Click the vertical axis to select it and then change its size to 8 points. Horizontal axis to 8 points. Alright. Below the horizontal axis, click the legend. Change it to 8 points as well. Alright, and everything resizes. Double click the vertical axis to open the format axis pane. In the unit section, select the value in the minimum box. Okay, let's go back and scroll up. Select the value in the minimum box. Type 100,000. And then press enter. The scale of the vertical axis now ranges from 100,000 to 400,000 and $50,000 dollar intervals. It should look like your screen there. 16-26 on page 538. Editing the axis scale and labels. When a chart involves large numbers, the axis labels can take up a lot of the available chart area and be difficult to read. You can simplify the chart's appearance by displaying units of measure more appropriate to the data values. So make sure the vertical axis is selected. And the Format Axis pane is open displaying axis options. In the Format Axis pane, the value in the Display Units box is none, and the Show Display Units label on Chart checkbox is not selected. In the Format Axis pane, click the Display Units box arrow. And click Thousands. Okay. The values on the vertical axis change from 100,000 to 400,000 in intervals of 50,000 to 100 through 400 in intervals of 50. The Show Display Units label on Chart checkbox is now selected, and the Display Units label Thousands was added, indicating that the values are in units of 1,000. Save your changes. In addition to numbers, a scale can be based on dates, as the horizontal axis is in the price history line chart. As with numerical scales, you can set the minimum and maximum dates to use in the scale's range. Alright, so we're going to click our horizontal axis. The Format Axis pane changes to show the options for the dates. In the Format Axis pane in the Units section, select the value in major and set it to 2. In the unit section, set it to 2. Click the major box arrow and set it to years. Alright, the units on the horizontal axis change to indicate every 2 years because you're using years as your label. In the Format Axis pane, click Axis Options to collapse this section. We'll want to expand number if it's not already. In the category box, date is selected. In the format code box, month, day, 4-digit year appears, indicating the dates will be displayed in the format /1/2016. In the format code box, change the code to year. And then to the right, click Add. The format of the dates on the horizontal axis changes to display only the year. Okay, save it and close the Format Axis pane so that you can see what your chart looks like at this point. An axis title is descriptive text that appears next to the axis values. An axis title can provide additional information that is not covered in the chart title. To the right of the line chart, click the Chart Elements button. The Axis Titles checkbox is not selected. Point to Axis Titles and then click the right arrow. Options for adding the primary horizontal and primary vertical titles appear on the submenu. Click the Primary Vertical checkbox. Alright. The title is added to the vertical axis above the units label. Replace axis title with prices in thousands. Alright. Descriptive title is now entered. Change the font size of the axis title to 8 points. Click thousands, label here, and delete. Alright, and then save it. Grid lines extend the values of the major or minor units across the plot area. By default, horizontal grid lines appear on line charts and column charts. Each grid line is aligned with a major unit on the vertical axis. You can change the grid lines so that they appear for only the minor units, or appear for both the major and the minor, or do not appear at all. So to the right of the line chart, click the Chart Elements button. Go to Grid Lines, and then click the expansion arrow. The available grid lines appear in the submenu. The primary major horizontal checkbox is selected. This corresponds to the horizontal grid lines to the right of each dollar value in the line chart. Click the primary minor vertical checkbox. Primary minor vertical. Alright. Faint vertical grid lines will appear on the chart to indicate every year. Alright, save it at this point. Chart data can be edited. Let's click off of that. Can be edited to and revised at any time. You can do this by modifying the data range that the chart is based on. Alright, so in the pie chart, let's go back and look at our pie chart. Brooklyn Park slice, the data label for that slice is 8.07%. Make the Metropolitan worksheet, population worksheet, your worksheet, in cell B8. Alright, we're going to change that value to 68 CIS146Ch16Lecture. Now make the summary report active. And your value there for Brooklyn Park should have changed to 7.70, but it shouldn't be having this label here. Why has it got that in there? Alright. Let's see. And go back to summary. It's just something weird there it shouldn't be doing. Alright, it had an extra label there for some reason. Okay, now go back and change your value to CIS146Ch16. Accept it. You go back to your pie chart, and it changed your percentage to 7.07 or 7.7. Okay, it's that easy. You change your data, and your charts will update based on that data. You can modify a chart by adding a new data series. The new data series appears in the chart with a different set of data markers in the same way that the line chart you created had different data markers for each of the 3 different series. So if we go to our, let's close this, go to our structure types and look at this. Click the chart to select it. We want to go to our design tab. In the data group, click the select data button. Alright, click the add button. The edit series dialog box will open. With the insertion point in the series name box, click the structure type sheet tab. Then click cell D3. Alright, which is the cell containing the series name. Press the tab key and move the insertion point to the series value box. In the worksheet, select the range D4 through D12. Click OK. Alright, and then click OK again, and your national structure type values appear as red columns in the chart next to the blue columns that indicate the Minneapolis structure type. To the right of the column chart, click the Chart Elements button. Click Legend. The legend is added to the right of the chart. On the chart selection box, drag the middle right sizing handle to the right to expand the width of the chart to cover column H. Drag the chart down a row so the chart is positioned on 15, beginning in the left corner on A15. Alright, and save your changes. Alright, modifying lines and data markers. You can change the appearance of the lines and data markers in a line chart. You can do this with the marker options in the Format Data Series pane. In the Price History line chart, scroll up till you can see your price history line chart. Double click the red median data series line. In the Format Data Series pane, click the Fill Line button. Alright. Click the No Line option button. The line is removed from the chart and the marker tab appears in the Format Data Series pane. In the Format Data Series pane, click the Marker tab and then click Marker Options. Okay. Click the Built-in Option button. You now select the type and size of the marker. Click the Type arrow box and then click the short horizontal line. Click the size and change it to 4. Nope, wrong way. The median value appears on the chart as data markers without a line. Compare your screen to figure 16-36 on page 545 in your book. Hang on. Sorry about that interruption. Okay, a sparkline is a chart that is displayed entirely within a cell. The goal of sparkline is to convey a large amount of graphical information within a very small space. They don't include chart elements such as legends, titles, grid lines, or axes. You can create 3 types of sparklines. A line sparkline for highlighting trends, a column sparkline for column charts, a win-loss sparkline for highlighting positive and negative values. Alright, so if you'll look at examples of sparklines there on page 546 in Exhibit 16-37, it shows you some examples of sparklines. We're going to make our Metropolitan Population Worksheet active. We're going to select the range D4 through D8. We're going on the ribbon, we're going to click the Insert tab. In the Sparkline group, we're going to click the Line button. Okay, hang on. Insert tab. Click Sparkline group. Hang on. In the wrong place. Sparklines group, we're going to click the line. The Create Sparkline dialog box will open with insertion point in the data range box. The location range is already entered because you selected it when you were opening the box. With the insertion point in the data range box, click the Population History Sheet tab. Population History. Alright. And we're going to select the range B4 through E8. Whoa. Escape. We're going to go back here, insert line, change our tab, B4 through E8. Okay. Click OK. The dialog box closes and the Metro Population Sheet is now your current tab. Spark lines are inserted into each cell in the selected location range, D4 through D8. The Sparkline Tools Design tab appears on the ribbon and is the active tab. On the Sparkline Tools Design tab in the Show group, click the High Point checkbox and the Low Point checkbox to display markers for the high and low points within each sparkline. On the Sparkline Tools Design tab in the Style group, click the More button and choose the Style Accent 1 Darker 25%. The line changes to a darker blue and the markers change to a darker red. Alright, save all your changes up to this point. Now, let's see. I think the last thing we're going to do is insert and modify data bars. A data bar is a conditional formatting that adds a horizontal bar to the background of a cell containing a number. When applied to a range of cells, the data bars have the same appearance as a bar chart, with each cell containing one bar. The lengths of the data bars are based on the values in the selected range. Alright, so make the Structured Types worksheet your active sheet. Select the range C4 through D12. On the Home tab, in the Styles group, we want to select Conditional Formatting, and then point to Data Bars. In the Gradient Fill section, click the orange Data Bar style. The data bars are added to the selected cells. These data bars present essentially the same information as the column chart you created earlier. However, the data bars have the advantage of being compact and integrated with the values in the Structured Types data. On the Home tab in the Styles group, click the Conditional Formatting button and then click Manage Rules. The Conditional Formatting Rules Manager dialog box will open. In the Show Formatting Rules for Box, current selection appears. Click Edit Rule. The Edit Formatting Rule dialog box will open. You want to modify the data bar rule to proportionally reduce the lengths of the data bars. In the Type row, click the Maximize box arrow. And then click Number. In the value row, in the Maximize box, replace the value with 0.75. The rule now sets the maximum value for the data bar to 0.75 or 75%. All data bar lengths will then be determined relative to their value. Click OK. And then click OK again. The longest data bar now spans 3/4 of the cell width. It should look something like Exhibit 16-42 on page 549. We want to save everything. Make sure you've saved your workbook. This is what you will turn in for Chapter 16. If you have any questions or problems with Chapter 16, please let me know.